A very warm welcome to Walton Hall Park for Everton versus Chelsea in the Barclays Women's Super League. 2013 is the last time the Toffees managed to beat the Blues in the WSL. They did beat them in the FA Cup in 2020, but in truth, in recent times, it's been a bleak head-to-head for the Toffees, who had their biggest ever defeat since taking on the name of Everton in 1995 when losing 7-0 to Emma Hayes' Chelsea last season. And of course, Emma Hayes is in the dugout for the first time since confirming that as of next season, she will no longer be the Chelsea boss. Will be interesting to see how her players react to that news. They come into this weekend 3 points clear of Manchester City, Tottenham, Liverpool and Arsenal in the league table. Everton third from bottom with just 4 points to show from their 5 games so far. I'm Michael McCann. It's a great pleasure to have your company up here in what is slightly freezing commentary gantry here at Walton Hall Park, but thankfully the torrential rain that we had right up until about an hour or so before kickoff that's had us all huddling under cover has mercifully relented. It is of course Remembrance Weekend, and there will be appropriate honouring of that pre-match. It's worth mentioning that today will be the first time that a fixture in the women's game has featured a team of officials consisting entirely of current or former armed forces personnel, between your referee Lauren Impey, your assistant referees Levi Gray and Gareth Dunn, and the fourth official Adewumni Sonei. 4 members of the armed forces taking charge of the Everton women versus Chelsea women match that you'll be watching in front of you here on Remembrance Weekend. Chelsea in their change strip, Everton in their traditional deep blue, of course. That's confirmed there. There will be a moment of silence after the last post is played. An impeccably observed minute silence and rendition of the last post here on what is Remembrance Weekend. And as mentioned, this is the first time that a fixture in the women's game has featured an officiating team consisting entirely of current or former armed services personnel. That is your Everton lineup. 4 changes from the side that drew 1-1 at Spurs. Sarah Holmgaard comes in for her first WSL appearance of the season. Karen Holmgaard gets her first start. Martina Piemonte and Nicolina Sorensen also in. Chelsea make 2 changes from the side that hit Aston Villa for 6 and then were of course hit for 6 in terms of the shock of finding out that Emma Hayes is departing at the end of the season. Sam Kerr and Jelena Cankovic, the two to come in. Fran Kirby, who earned so magnificently in that one to a sizzling best, is benched, as is Mia Fischel. So all set to get underway here then, and after a swap-a-rooney caused by the coin toss, Everton will attack from right to left as we look at things, and Chelsea from left to right. Before kick-off, a moment to take a stand by taking a knee against all forms of racism and discrimination. Really important this game is for all of us to enjoy, regardless of your identity. Off and underway here at Walton Hall Park then, Chelsea looking to keep their excellent start to the season going. Moving to focus on Champions League matters and a trip to Real Madrid in just 3 days' time, with domestic matters fully in hand. Only a win will guarantee that they keep their 3-point lead at the top. Starting today with 13 points to show from 5 games thus far. Manchester City, Spurs, Liverpool and Arsenal all with 10. Those 4 teams separated by just goal difference. Everton with only 4 points from 5 so far. Only the pointless Aston Villa and Bristol City, who have 3 points below them in the table. Do have a very imposing head-to-head record between these two. Chelsea, they've won the last 7 meetings between this pair. A 7-0 home win last season, where they were 5-0 up at half-time in May, was Everton's biggest ever loss since taking on the club's name in 1995. But here come Everton. Lovely little through ball. Early chance, and wasn't gathered cleanly back there. A little bit of a nervous moment for Anne Katrenberger and Chelsea. Not far off immediately from the kickoff. Everton nearly grabbing the lead. Home fans already into good voice in support. Plenty have travelled up from London as well. Good work in the channel to win the corner. Nicely done by Payne. What can Everton create from the corner? And it comes, and that is a more assured gather from Anne Katrenberger. Berger part of what is a three-way fight for a starting spot as a goalkeeper at Chelsea. And it's only a three-way fight because Nikki Everard has gone out on loan to Brighton after signing. Hannah Hampton still yet to make her debut. And Zecira Mušović on the bench today, the impressive Swedish international. Chelsea Fans podcast Went to Mow Kingsmeadow were talking about the fact that Emma Hayes' strategy for keeping goalkeepers in competition with each other and who might play when is something of an enigma code, one of those things that might truly never be cracked unless Hayes one day comes out and reveals what her secret is. What is for sure is Chelsea are pretty stacked in that position. And that's an awkward moment for Brosnan. Might have handed Chelsea a chance here. Just trying to work the shooting opportunity, and they end up slightly losing the momentum, but it's still with the visitors. Perisset, Ritten Kahnryd, Perisset once more. Kerr, always such a threat. 5 goals in 5 against Everton. Zipping the ball around with the confidence that you'd expect of a side who won 6-0 last weekend. Charles just slightly ran into a blind alley, but now Cuthbert showed plenty of confidence early on. Ritten Kahnryd, that's a good challenge in the nick of time back there from Hongar. Needed to be as well. Otherwise, that would be an early penalty, which actually was in the fixture between these sides 2.5 years ago here at Walton Hall Park. I remember being here for that one. Melanie Leupolz's spot kick saved by Tinha-Rika Korpela. It didn't go on to matter too much. Everton losing 3-0, Frank Kirby, Pernilla Harder, and then Leupolz all scoring. Corner floated up, and then it ends up in the hands of Brosnan. Mentioned the jostle for positions in terms of the Chelsea goalkeeping spots. There's certainly plenty of competition for places where Everton goes well, with Emily Ramsey being signed in the summer from Manchester United. Brosnan has so far had the edge, starting in 6 of Everton's 8 games thus far. Perisset inside. Neat skills from Cankovic, getting the chance to start today in that 10 slot, albeit like any Emma Hayes team, no shortage of positional flexibility within it. Perisset getting plenty of early touches of the ball. She had more touches than anyone else in the win against Aston Villa last time out. And now there's a lot of space for Ritten Kaneryd. That's a dangerous thing for any defence. Wins the corner. Perisset jogs across to take it. And Perisset, summer signing from Bordeaux in 2022, brings with her a lot of experience after 4 years or so at Paris Saint-Germain, following 4 years at Lyon 2, Champions League winner. Perisset's corner, she'll get another chance. Chelsea continuing to build their early pressure after it was Everton who nearly led in the 2nd minute. Nearly had the lead about 70 seconds into this contest. But since then, it's Chelsea who've settled into a rhythm. Perisset to deliver. She'll get another chance. Stands that up towards the back post and into the side netting from Sam Kerr. So impressive in front of goal that it's sometimes a surprise with her when you see the net ripple, but it's the wrong side of it. Sam Kerr, who of course deserves our congratulations as of this week. Engagement confirmed to Christy Mewis. Fantastic to see such open visibility as a member of the LGBTQ+ community myself. Means a lot to have that in elite level sport. I've talked before at how sometimes in sport it's seen that you have to play well to belong, and that in women's football she feels like it's the other way around. You have to belong to play well. It's a great interview the pair of them did very openly a while back with Flo Lloyd-Hughes for Gaffer. It's well worth a look, talking about life on and off the football pitch. Fantastic role models in that regard. Given away by Carter, chance for Everton on the break. Piemonte's touch was loose. Have at least managed to keep the ball. Good press from Chelsea, forcing Everton all the way back to Brosnan. Headed up by Perisset. Ritten Kaneryd was looking to get in behind. Now Cankovic takes over. Cuthbert. You can hear Brian Sorensen frantically reorganising the Everton defence in front of us from the dugout. Sorensen's side will have to be at their very best to get something today. Perisset. Slide it through Cankovic. Ritten Kaneryd, lovely flowing move this. Almost came back for Cankovic again. Now Everton try and play their way out. Not easy to do from back there. Everton get a moment to breathe, having to absorb quite a lot of Chelsea pressure in the recent moments of this one. Everton urged to push up by Brian Sørensen. He's into his second season at the club, has provided an element of much needed stability. They finished 6th last season. 9 wins, 10 losses and 3 draws, and real improvement on the season before when they finished 10th. Slightly chaotic campaign. They'd started it having made some high-profile signings under Willie Kirk, talking about challenging for trophies and near the top. Ended up having 3 managers in Willie Kirk, Jean-Luc Vasseur, and then interim coaching team, and just about being happy to finish 10th and secure their status for another season. Good break forward, and Chelsea win the corner that Perisset will take. More defending early on for Everton to do. Another corner floated in, got a little nick on the way through towards Kerr, who couldn't quite get a clean shot away. And then Bright runs across to take the throw in quickly. Really want to keep the tempo up here, Chelsea, but eventually will leave it. Charles goes short. Trying to thread it through. Kerr's touch wasn't quite where it needed to be, but she's in there trying to win it back, forcing the error. Martin Kahnryd and then Sjoeke Nusken, both with headers, ends up in the gloves of Brosnan. Brosnan, who won't have fond memories of playing Chelsea Courtney Brosnan. She was in net for the 7-0 away loss in May, Everton's record defeat. And she was actually in goal as well for the 8-0 loss when West Ham were away against Chelsea in February 2020. We'll be hoping for a much better day today. Brosnan, who joined West Ham in 2019 before moving on to Everton a couple of years later. Played forward by Holmgar. Cut out by Perisset. Good spell of possession for Everton here, just what they'll need to settle the nerves. To at least have the psychological benefit of being in a position today where they don't have much to lose in terms of expectations. Good aggressive header from Holmgar. Will bring a goal kick. As Everton fans start one of their favourite chants in these parts, in honour of their Italian Aurora Gali. Nicked off Manchester City once upon a time with Yaya and Kolo Touré. Aurora Gali affectionately nicknamed Yaya. Defending to do for Everton here, slip free towards Kerr. Oh, that's a clever back heel. Nusken looks for Kerr on the return. And then the volley, 1-0 Chelsea. A lovely clean strike from Jessie Fleming. Her first WSL goal of the season. Everton punished for the defensive mistake from Claire Wheeler, who inadvertently set up the Canadian. Chelsea grabbed the lead on the exact start they'd have wanted in trying to ensure that they'll finish this weekend where they started it, top of the table. Now here come Chelsea straight from the kickoff. Ritinkanri charging forward, putting on the rocket boosters. Not that she ever really takes them off, she's that rapid. And then the strike from Cuthbert. Brosnan had to be careful, it was swerving, it was awkward. Could have been 2 goals in 2 minutes for Chelsea. Just a little shimmy inside, created the space. And then Cuthbert looking for what would have been her second goal of the new season. They're not quite so new season now. In comes the corner. All hands to the pump for Everton. They're fighting to stay in this contest right now. Fleming's header. Could be a second here. Jankovic was waiting for it, so is Nusken. And the whistle's gone. And that chance is gone. But you sense the way Chelsea are playing. Unless Everton can find a foothold and find it quickly, they might not have to wait too long for their next one. Of course, plenty of other WSL games going on today. Manchester United versus West Ham and Tottenham versus Liverpool. Both very much in full flow. Kicking off at the same time as us, Manchester City versus Brighton. In 45 minutes or so, Bristol City versus Aston Villa gets going. And the late game is Leicester City versus Arsenal. Nusken, what an addition she's already been to this Chelsea side. Scarcely good for someone who's only 22 years old. The summer signing from Eintracht Frankfurt. Ollie from the Blue Royalty podcast was referring to her having telescopic legs in terms of her ability to win the ball back in midfield. German pundits have compared her to Kira Walsh, the Lionesses and Barcelona star, and it's quite clear that Sjoeke Nusken is becoming a star very much in her own right, and already of course now has a Chelsea hat-trick. Not a bad way to announce yourself. Holmgart. Whacked forward by Cuthbert. Everton really struggling to build much out from the back. They've drawn the foul there. The Toffees, who so far this season have that 1-0 win at Liverpool on the 15th of October. But aside from that, it's been a somewhat disappointing campaign, you'd have to say. 3 losses and a draw elsewhere in the WSL, and 2 heavy defeats. Well, 2 defeats, I should say, in the Conti Cup. One of them very heavy, a 7-0 loss at Manchester United in midweek, having lost 5-0 to them in the league as well. And a 2-1 loss here against Manchester City means they're all but out of the Conti Cup, having lost those first 2 games. Not reached the quarter-finals of that competition since 2017. It's often very tough for Everton in the Conti Cup because it's done on regions, the groups, so they tend to end up with Manchester City and Manchester United in the same group, which doesn't make life simple. Perisset. Ritinkanri dropping deep to help link the play. Good pressing this from Everton, and Katzenberger has to be wary. To fight their way back into this contest. Easier said than done against Chelsea. Chelsea side chasing what would be a 12th league win in 13. Had that 1-1 draw at Manchester City earlier on this season. Charles. Stabbed it forward, had already been fouled. Well, the home fans aren't happy. Maybe some of them feel like Niamh Charles, if they're being really cynical, has gone down because she knew she'd lost the ball, but that's not correct. The foul had clearly come in, and you can see Niamh Charles is in some pain. I hope it's nothing too serious here, Chelsea. She's been a real star of their season so far. The most touches of anyone in the final third in the WSL across this season. Not just for Chelsea, for any team, that's Niamh Charles. Really starting to marry together her defensive and attacking instincts under the development of Emma Hayes. And you might be interested to know as well that for Chelsea, she has the most dribbles of anyone in the team and the most passes in the opposition half. So those numbers really do tell you a huge amount about how effective she's been for Emma Hayes' side this season. If you're just joining us touch late here, Emma Hayes' side already 1-0 up. And if you've been living under a rock for the last week or so, you may be intrigued to know that she's moving on to the US Women's National Team job. Has said that though she was born in England, she was definitely made in America. Might feel like a long time ago, but she spent time with the Chicago Red Stars and Long Island as well. We'll look to restore former glories at the US Women's National Team. But for now, as Jessie Parker-Humphries was saying on the Blue is Royalty podcast, Champions League or bust. One last hurrah in Bilbao, which for those who are unfamiliar, the San Mamés in Bilbao is the venue for the UEFA Women's Champions League final this season in late May. Chelsea will have their eyes on European glory. They've been drawn in Group D with Real Madrid, who they beat 2-0 at home last season in the group stages and drew 0-0 with away. Also with Paris FC, the surprise package, who have dumped out Arsenal and Wolfsburg in qualifying. Wolfsburg last season's runners-up, Arsenal last season's semi-finalists. And Chelsea also with BK Häcken from Sweden, which will bring a reunion for Johanna Rytting Kaneryd, who signed for Chelsea from Häcken in 2022. Chelsea starting their 8th European campaign. They've gone to the semi-finals or further in 4 of their last 6 seasons. Semi-finalists in 2018, 2019, and last season runners-up, of course, behind Barcelona in 2021. Indeed, it often has taken some of Europe's best to put Chelsea out across their history. They've gone out to Wolfsburg 3 times, Barcelona twice, and Lyon once, as well as that group stage exit a couple of seasons ago. Well, this is not what you want to see. Niamh Charles visibly distressed, visibly in a lot of pain, and visibly upset. Well, we might see her back on, but I'm not certain we will, just by how much that left leg looks in real discomfort. And with the Champions League campaign starting in just 3 days, that's a worry for Chelsea. Back underway. Cankovic to take the set piece. Comes down to Cuthbert, who thought about shooting for a second. And now Kerr will cross, and Millie Bright was there. Well, she's always got a goal in her, Millie Bright. Was a centre forward once upon a time, and still has those instincts when she needs them. Couldn't quite put them to good use here. Of course, I was just talking about Europe. Probably the best example of those centre forward instincts was that magnificent instinctive finish she scored to give Chelsea victory at Paris Saint-Germain in the group stage last season of the UEFA Women's Champions League. More Chelsea pressure. Ends up back with Perisset. Cuthbert. Carter. Charles. Inside for Fleming. Oh, that's gorgeous from Jessie Fleming. Couldn't quite get the return ball off Kerr. And you could see Kerr's visible disappointment at not being able to get it back to her teammate, who's already scored the opener and might have been about to make something sizzling happen for a second. It's been a real point of discussion that with the brilliant Guro-Reiten out injured, it's handed an opportunity for Fleming to show all of her expressive attacking talents down this sort of inside left channel. Fleming in her left wingers era, if you will, but not exactly. Chelsea, of course, so positionally flexible, as is Jessie Fleming, who was taught that from a young age in the Canadian youth team setups. It's one of the things that made her a very attractive buy for Chelsea when first signing on her first professional contract after a time at UCLA. Brosnan has to be careful back there. Ends up just hammering it away. Anywhere will do stuff. That's slightly the mentality right now. Jankovic. Perisset. Chelsea zipping the ball about. Picked up by Sarah Holmgar. Chance for Everton to try and build something now. Have struggled to create, but the statistics would actually say more than struggling to create, they've struggled to finish. Only scored 3 goals in 5 games so far this season, but their expected goals based on the chances they've created is 6.2. So their XG more than double what they've actually scored, which suggests they have created a fair few chances, they just haven't taken them. Ball in behind, Via has to be wary, and wanted to see it out for a goal kick. The ball wouldn't oblige. Sorensen goes down under the challenge from Perisset. Everton fans getting behind their side, but Kerr's won it back. Almost towards Nusken. Dangerous game there Justine van Havermaet was playing and trying to shepherd it into Brosnan. Just about managed it though. Van Havermaet, a summer signing from relegated Reading. Part of the Belgium side, played a full 90 in the team that won 3-2 against England on October the 31st. Carter's header, bright back there. A little bit of confusion. Sorensen can only find Jankovic, but then Van Havermaet is there to win it back. Sarah heading to the corner. Sorensen wins the corner. Something for Everton to build off. Well, they almost scored with just over a minute gone, and since then, Everton haven't really been near the Chelsea goal with the ball at all until now. What can they create from this opportunity? In swinging corner. Can the Toffees make something of the set piece? Floated up towards that back post. It's headed up by Piemonte. Back in by Via. Bright there battling for it. Now Piemonte again. Sets it back for Karen Holmgar. Now Payne. Payne across and turned goalwards, but a simple enough save for Ann-Katrin Berger. Positive signs for Everton. Nicely constructed move this. Heather Payne Driving into a pocket of space, pulling a bit back for Justine van Havermaet. Van Havermaet chasing what would have been her first goal for the club. Now here come Chelsea. Looking for the comfort of a second goal. Musken couldn't quite pull it back for Ritten Kahnryd. Good skills in there to retain possession. Now Cuthbert trying to burrow her way through, couldn't quite do so. Chelsea get the throw. Well, it wouldn't be Merseyside if there wasn't a little bit of chance customised to some of the Beatles, would it? Great to see so many different flags flying away to our right as well behind that goal. Can spot Sweden and Italy, as well as one particularly in honour of Megan Finnegan, one of their own in these parts. You cut her open, she'll bleed toffee, if you know what I mean. Sorensen. Sarah Holmgar. Pass had just too much on it. And so Sarah Holmgar was left just fighting to get anything on it. Arrived in a double deal with her twin Karen. Started last season on loan from Fortuna Hjørring before being reunited with her twin in January when that loan ended. Just over half an hour gone. Everton will be pleased about how they have managed to absorb pressure. Oh, wow. Missed by Bright. Here's Piemonte. Big chance. And straight at Ann-Katrin Berger. A huge opportunity for Everton. What a chance for Piemonte to get her first Everton goal. And what a let-off for Millie Bright. Well, that is a stroke of luck for Chelsea. Van Havermaet. Cuthbert is down, clutching her face. On we go. And now the referee, Lauren Impey, will bring things back. The referee obligated to stop play as soon as they see a player with a head injury. Well, they've already had Niamh Charles go down. I hope it's nothing too serious for Erin Cuthbert. Cuthbert, a live wire of the Chelsea dressing room. Key player in that number 6 role that she's dropped into playing more in recent times, particularly since the departure of G. Joker in the camp as well. Wasn't in the squad against Brighton and Spurs with a minor injury and has been on slightly limited minutes. The midfield area has been a bit of a concern for Chelsea this season. Melanie Leupolz with her injury, Katarina Svitkova with knee problem, Gura Brighton, and then of course Katarina Macario on the sideline long term. I hope to not be adding Cuthbert to that list. Particularly with Real Madrid on the horizon, and of course Chelsea having a game on the Sunday, I wouldn't say is necessarily overly helpful in terms of the schedule. There's plenty of other clubs on the continent who've benefited from Friday night fixtures or Saturday lunchtime games just to help with that turnaround to Europe. Chelsea's fixture, this will start to pick up and get busier and busier now with that Champions League group stage getting going. Very proud and quick to remind some of their rivals that they are the only English representatives in the Champions League group stage. Manchester United losing out to Paris Saint-Germain in qualifying, and Arsenal defeated by Paris FC. Looked forward by Van Havermaet. That's an intelligent ball in behind for Sorensen. Sorensen's cross towards Piemonte. It was just behind her. Still there for Everton. Good block in the nick of time, and suddenly Chelsea can build. Well won back though. Frantic passage of play here. Payne ticks it on. Flying in his wheeler. Charles back to Carter, whose pass is loose. Chelsea inviting pressure onto themselves. Piemonte. Bright just smashes it clear. Katrina Vaya. Sarah Holmgart crosses towards that back post. Cuthbert showing good composure. Now Perisset. Space again on this near side for Sarah Holmgart. Katrina Vaya. Van Havermaet. Wheeler. Now Payne. Nice work from Payne. Cleared by Bride. Again, Chelsea, you'd have to say, not looking totally convincing at the back. Everton having a good spell here. Martina Piemonte with Everton's best chance after Millie Bright's mistake. Could have joined her teammate Aurora Gali as the only Italians to have scored in the WSL. Both of them indeed the only Italians to have ever played in it. No foul on Van Havermaet. Cuthbert goes all the way back to Berger. Everton fans in good voice again. I know they've got a songbook that's distributed to home supporters here at Walton Hall Park. Everton Women's Supporters Club, established in 2007 by Julie Makin, have worked really hard on building an atmosphere here at Everton's new home, which haven't quite made into the most intimidating place to come yet, you'd have to say. Piemonte with the foul. I say that because their statistics here at Walton Hall Park are definitely not what they'd want them to be. They've lost exactly half of their games here. 17 losses from 34. Since they first played here in February 2020, an eventful 3-2 loss against Manchester United. 11 wins and 6 draws. Berger set to go direct. Game of head tennis in midfield ends up with Chelsea coming forward. Little pocket of space for Fleming. Inside for Kerr, who helps it on. Shooting chance. Miscued, although it's still nearly crept into that bottom corner off the boot of Joanna Rittinkana-Reid. Rittinkana-Reid, who still has a goal for Chelsea. Is almost a case in their squad already of who doesn't. Ridiculous number of different scorers. 12 different scorers across the first 5 games of this season. That's at least 5 more than any other club coming into this round of fixtures. Always a good sign if you can share goals around a team. A really handy habit to have. Parise. Carter. 5 minutes or so plus stoppages left in this first half. You sense the game within a game. Can Everton get to it? Only a goal down. Nusken. Fleming's cross was a really awkward one. Nearly ended up dipping in. Nice link play from Sierka Nusken. Then back for Fleming, who you would think was trying to find Kerr rather than score. Jesse Fleming, who, as some put it, born in London, Ontario, balls in London, UK. Very much a baller on her day, Jessie Fleming, and she seems to be having another one of those days here. As here comes Fleming, winning that one back, as if to illustrate my point. It's been left for Ritten Kahnryd. Ritten Kahnryd seemed in a bit of a conundrum about if to cross or shoot, and never quite effectively did either here. Did have the option of Kerr. The angle wasn't perfect to shoot. Flashes all the way through. Chelsea, of course, playing their first match since Emma Hayes announced she'll be leaving at the end of the season. I'm not sure if you're suspicious, but it's a Nelson as well. Her 333rd game as Chelsea boss. 236 wins, 39 draws and 58 defeats. 2.25 points per game in the WSL. That's seriously impressive. As Everton get themselves a free kick to build on. May well look to go direct. Steg goes short. He's someone that favours a possession-based style of football, Brian Sorensen. Was a feeling last season sometimes, though, that kept the ball for long periods without necessarily being effective. Foul on Fleming. Could be further punishment here. Well, it will be a further punishment, but it's for Fleming for dissent, not for the actual challenge. Jessie Fleming picks up her first yellow card of the season in the WSL. And with half-time approaching, Chelsea have the free kick platform. Free kick lofted in. It'll flick on into the gloves of Brosnan. It will be interesting to see how Brian Sorensen uses his bench when he gets there. He's really shuffled his pack today with Emma Bissell, Carolina Olsson, Hannah Bennison and Katja Snoys all being left out, having been in the 11 for their last WSL game against Spurs. Here they come, looking for an equaliser. Payne has lots of options. Big chance and a big save from Ann-Katrin Berger, but it snuck in on the rebound. It won't count though. Sarah Holmgard thought she'd scored what would have been her first Everton goal, but is brought back from the jubilation. Sarah Holmgard's strike magnificently saved. And then it was Justine van Havermaet on the rebound, who thought she bundled it in, but brought back from her jubilation almost immediately. Well, that is a splendid stop from Ann-Katrin Berger. Had she not saved that, any discussion about the offside afterwards would have, of course, been irrelevant. It seems like Ann-Katrin Berger has hurt herself in the process of making that stop. Berger, who's on a contract through to the end of this season with a one-year extension option for the club. Had a milestone last time out against Aston Villa, her 50th WSL clean sheet, coming in that 6-0 win, where Chelsea really showed their tactical flexibility. Played in a 3-4-1-2. Seen them use a 4-2-3-1 this season as well as a 3-4-3-2. created a lot of player overloads with Niamh Charles consistently used as the spare player, the third player to break into the box. Berger eager to play on. Remember as well, if you wish to get involved on social media, you can interact with the home side on @EvertonWomen, the visitors on @ChelseaFCW, and the league on @BarclaysWSL. And do get in touch with your commentator Michael McCann, yours truly on @ThisIsMcCann. That's This Is McCann, MCCANN. It would be great to hear where you're watching from in the world and your thoughts on this first half. Offside flag up against Heather Payne. Well, there has been some really encouraging signs for Everton here. Martina Piemonte's chance, the brilliant save that Ann-Katrin Berger was forced into to deny Sarah Holmgar. Seven minutes added on at the end of this first half. It's something we're being accustomed to seeing a lot more of in recent times. Referees more wary of how much time has elapsed without the ball in play, and longer periods of stoppages at the end of games becoming more customary than they might once have been. Carter. Trying to work that in behind for Fleming. Chelsea lose out though. Everton have grown into the game the longer it's gone on. Van Havermaet invites Katrina Veijer past halfway. Sarah Holmgar. Now Sorensen. Sorensen's cross wins the corner. More positive signs for Everton. Haven't had a lot to celebrate this season. They've only scored 3 goals in 5 league games. Indeed, 4 goals across 7 matches throughout all competitions in the campaign. But they are testing Ann-Katrin Berger here, and they are testing Chelsea, no doubt at all. In swinging corner, floated towards that far post. The header was on target. Piemonte was trying to get it under control. Perisset just puts her foot through it. Veijer heads it back towards goal. All a bit frantic back there. Cleared away to Wheeler. Claire Wheeler, who recently scored her first international goal on October the 29th in an 8-0 win against the Philippines in Olympic qualifying. Key member of the Matildas national team side. What they've called the Matildas effect over there as well. Games starting to sell out in mere minutes. The effect of that World Cup campaign in full force. Slightly too aggressive in the press there, Chelsea. At near enough the exact midway point of the 7 minimum minutes added on. Too much on the pass for Veijer. He has to sprint back into a defensive position. You can see the Chelsea dugout just in front of us to our right, barking out instructions. Foul on Cuthbert. Chelsea certainly have had to use the full extent of their squad already this season, particularly with their injury issues in midfield. It's a difficult team to get in and stay in when you're fit as well. Only 3 players have started all of Chelsea's first 6 WSL games of the season: Millie Bright, Jess Carter and Niamh Charles. Only 2 players have started every game for Everton: Katrina Veijer and Megan Finnegan. Perisset. Bright, now Charles. Patient possession from Chelsea. How they'd love a second to take into half-time. It would be harsh on Everton across the balance of play. Rytting Kaneryd down the line for Nusken. Well dispossessed by Katrina Vaya. Using all of her experience and then hammered out of play. Vaya, who's one of a number of Danish or Swedish players for whom the attraction of playing under Brian Sorensen, who was so successful at Fortuna Hjørring in Denmark, as well as playing with a lot of other players from Scandinavia. It's been something of an attractive option in joining Everton. Hit Sorensen. He didn't know a lot about it. Nusken on. Just trying to thread through a needle, running up that middle area with those little intricate passes. Fleming just lost it. Rytting Kaneryd. Not the best pass from Perisset. Brosnan has got to be wary. I laugh just because you could hear Brian Sorensen in front of us just screaming, "They are coming, they are coming." Summed up the Chelsea press perfectly in the ferocity of it. It's not too much hiding certain intricacies of Everton's tactics, because all of you can hear Brian Sorensen not far from me barking them out. Trying to get it through to Rytting Kaneryd, who was getting her engines going. Scored that memorable goal against Aston Villa. And here she goes again. Rytting Kaneryd. Beautiful shimmy. And it ends up in the gloves of Courtney Brosnan. Johanna Rytting Kaneryd threatening once more. Such an impressive player. Very versatile when she plays for the Swedish national team. And well, you can put very versatile next to almost any Chelsea player. It's pretty much a prerequisite. Half-time here at Walton Hall Park. Encouraging signs for Everton. Martina Piemonte scuffed her shot after being handed an opportunity by Millie Bright's mistake. And they did have the ball in the net through Justine van Havermaet after Sarah Holmgaard's strike was well saved by Ann-Katrin Berger. But ultimately, it is a lovely first-time volley from Jessie Fleming, capitalising on Claire Wheeler's mistake. It is the difference between these sides at the break. Chelsea knowing that a point will guarantee keeping them top this weekend. Only a win will ensure that they keep their 3-point lead, or indeed, if other results go their way, extended. At the break, they're in front, but not entirely convincing, you'd have to say. At half-time here, it's Everton 0, Chelsea 1. Let's take a look back at those first half highlights, starting when Heather Payne almost had Everton in front, with just over a minute gone. Chelsea found their gears thereafter. Sam Kerr headed into the side netting. And then Nusken here, turning nicely and threading that towards Kerr. And eventually it came off Wheeler and handed Jessie Fleming the chance. A really neat first-time volley, though, from Fleming to get her first goal of the season. And then Cuthbert tried her luck, and Chelsea found themselves almost with 2 goals in as many minutes. Everton kicked into gear then. Van Havermaet could only turn it straight at Ann-Katrin Berger, but there was more encouraging signs to come for the Toffees. Horrible moment for Millie Bright here. And Martina Piemonte with a chance to score her first Toffees goal. Could only put it straight at the keeper. Fleming here found Kerr, who in turn set up Rytting Kaneryd, who could only pull it wide. And then Heather Payne once again involved in an attacking sense. Magnificent reaction save there from Ann-Katrin Berger to deny Sarah Holmgaard. Justine van Havermaet had the ball in the net, but immediately ruled out for offside. So Chelsea then well placed at the break to make it 8 straight wins against Everton and leave Everton still without a WSL win against Chelsea since 2013. But plenty of encouraging signs for Brian Sorensen's side. make sure to be with us for the second half to see if they can fight their way back into this contest. At half-time, it's Everton 0, Chelsea 1.
Excited, would say nervous, but nervous doesn't really suit me, so yeah, excited. We're passionate about what we're trying to do, we know what we're going after, we know it's going to be tougher than it ever has been, so very excited of what's to come.
I'm feeling really excited and curious in the new season to see how far we'll reach with Chelsea.
What excites me about this team is we've had very little disruption to the current squad. Being able to bring in Jill Roord, who's a top player.
We have a new team together, and I'm really excited to see how we can do in this WSL, and looking forward to it.
We've had a good pre-season so far, 7 new signings who are bedded in well. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're really pleased with the performance levels. We've had some tough games in pre-season, tested ourselves against European opposition.
I think it's going to be a big step up this year, but I think we're riding the confidence of promotion and we're hoping to really carry it into this year.
I'm looking forward to it. We've obviously got new players in, new manager in, fresh start, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the season starting.
The team goal is to win trophies. Right now we have the cup to give everything for and the league, so of course we want to win trophies this year.
Team goals for the season is to win. We want to be successful, we want to win trophies. We enjoy winning silverware, so that's got to be the aim. We're in it to win it.
We just need to work and improve on what we did well at the end of last season, compete with the top teams and be in and around it.
If we can be even better in the aspects of keeping the ball, be good at dominating the games, doesn't matter if it's top 4, if it's the rest of the league. We want to have our own identity, and so basically just building on that.
I think it's just building on what we did towards the end of last season. We obviously have our internal goals, but as a team we'll be looking to build on what happened last season, yeah.
To be competitive, we want to make sure that we surprise teams, and that doesn't necessarily mean in the obvious ways. It means in the fact that we've got ambition, grit, we want to prove our point, we want to play football. And we want to make sure it's exciting for fans because they've been following us through this journey the last 2 years, so I want to make it just as enjoyable for them again.
Ooh, definitely hard-working.
Ambitious, is that the right word?
Together. Quality.
Driven.
Funny.
Passionate.
Togetherness is one word.
I think resilient as well.
Relaxed.
Good people.
Passion. We love our fans, they're great.
The fans should come down and watch us because we will leave nothing in the tank. We'll put it all out there, we'll work our absolute socks off. So please fans, come and watch us.
We have a good team, we have a team that's passionate. We've got some talented players at this football club, and we're really looking forward to seeing what we can achieve this year.
I really hope that we in Chelsea can put out a show for the fans, play some good football, show some winning mentality, both when it goes good, we want to do it even better, but also when it's not that easy. I think this season will be extremely competitive, and yeah, there's no reason for the fans not to be there.
We're playing against some of the best players in the world, playing against some of the best teams, and it's our chance to make our mark.
The fans should watch Arsenal because we play good football, we play exciting football, we want to score goals and we want to have possession and dominate games.
They rock Walsall time and time again. The support towards last season was arguably one of the best in the division.
So get your tickets now, guys.
Our fans should look out for every new signing that we have made. Really interesting players with different qualities, so yeah, watch out.
Yeah, we're pleased with who we brought in. What we wanted to do with this recruitment was make sure that we added strength and depth competition for places. We needed goals, so Sophie Roman coming in is a big part of that. We're looking forward to seeing how she settles in.
Janice came in. I think she's very composed on the ball, and then I'd also say Deanne Rose because she's got a lot of experience in the league and she's very quick.
As I said, it's a very new look side, a lot of new signings, but I think that's exciting. We're a new look team, but we're excited to show what we can do.
We've obviously got to 5th spot for the first time, so I think what's different is the ambition and drive from the club is, you know, high from us, and hopefully we can do well this year.
New squad, we lost quite a few players last season. We've also got a new manager, so I think our style of play will change. Maybe the formations that we play within that, yeah, so quite a few changes.
Last season was a really tough season, but It was almost just about surviving, whereas now we've got a fresh slate, so everyone's really excited to get going.
Hi, I'm Tatiana Pinto and this is Get to Know. I think Brighton is the perfect project. The club has such a good vision and it's a very ambitious club. And I just think I suit here very good. So I'm really happy to join Brighton and looking forward for the next season. Very good. It's very sunny right now in this moment. So I'm really enjoying the time here, knowing a lot of new players, the staff, the club, everything here. But I am feeling very happy in the moment with everyone here. No, in personal, no, but I knew about Pauline, about Vicky, about Robo. That was some few faces that I already saw in other games. So yeah, I'm just very excited to know all of them and to learn a bit from them also. Very good, very close to us, very worried to know our concerns, very close. So very excited to start with the team and to start the league with everyone. Well, that's a good question. No, I think my main goal is to open doors for more Portuguese players coming into the WSL. I think we are very talented players, we just need opportunities. So this is my main goal and of course have a big impact in the team and help the club to be very successful. So I am
Hi, I'm Sandy. I'm Kiara, and this is Save Reacts.
Rebecca Welsh takes the first look at the watch, and Chelsea might be able to win it here. It's Sam Kerr. She's clean through.
Oh, nice.
Stopped by Roebuck.
Big and strong she is.
Made herself big.
This is you.
Nice. Stop it.
Nah, Sam, that was a great save.
Oh, thanks.
No,
Until
like
you
didn't even just pull off a worldie. Oh, nice. Thanks, Kiki.
We'll watch it again if we have to.
Ropes again.
Ooh.
Oh, this is
I thought this would be the one.
Reaction, and that is a vial. She's just so.
Nah, she's not.
No, that was a great reaction scene.
Yeah, right on the goal line.
Daily Roebuck show. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, it was like the Chelsea
Nice.
one. Nice Roby.
Great positioning.
I think it was only like 1-0 this game or something.
Yeah, love the face shots as well.
Oh, shit well to stay up there.
Yeah, I would have been down. Why is she so open?
Yeah, great defending, but we're not really to judge that, are we? But we shall.
It's all about the save. Great save, Rose. I can't even remember the save that I made. Surely I'm not going to show the goal. Oh,
nice, Kiki.
Get out of here. I just get out of my house.
Oosh. Sent to the shops. Nice, Key. Same big.
Big. And up for the rebounds. Come on.
Straight up. Sponsored by Daily Roebuck. Oh, nice. That's
Why did that? Yeah, that looked really weird.
Ooh,
again.
not the
Get
punch.
Out. Get out of here.
Should get out more, shouldn't we?
That's you. I don't like that. Even that kit.
Oh, I love that kit.
Nice.
Oh,
Sandy.
no. I'll tell you what, not to make excuses, but those mitre balls, when they're brand new, are so slippy. Should be catching this, you know. Ooh.
That was great defending by Barry.
Yeah.
Big up, Gabby.
Oh, that's it. Oh, lovely. Well, nice. 3 clips between
Wrapped
us.
up.
Welcome back to Walton Hall Park for this second half of Chelsea versus Everton. Chelsea looking for a win to maintain their 3-point gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Everton hunting what would be something of a surprise scalp, you'd have to say, given the recent history between these teams. Everton set to kick from left to right as we look at things in this second half. Chelsea attacking from right to left. Chelsea looking for an 8th straight win against Everton. 7 in the WSL, 1 in the FA Cup since Everton beat them in the FA Cup back in 2020 on their run to the final when they heartbreakingly lost to Manchester City after extra time. So Chelsea looking to turn that first half goal from Jessie Fleming into 3 valuable points. Everton looking to build on the fact that although they're behind on the scoreboard, they created plenty of good chances, tested Ann-Katrin Berger on multiple occasions and had the ball in the net, albeit that it was disallowed. Justine van Havermaet scoring what would have been her first for the club had it stood. And if you don't wish to know other results, then mute your audio for 30 seconds or so now, because there are other scorelines already in and close to being confirmed as well. Manchester United have beaten West Ham United by 5 goals to 0, no less. Goals from Jay, Smillie Turner, Nikita Parris, once of Everton of course, and has been tormenting Everton recently. Was on song against Everton in midweek. as well as Lucia Garcia and Jade Riviere in the second half. And that takes Manchester United level on points with Chelsea for now, at least. And in fact, they go above them in the live table on goals scored. But at least a point here for Chelsea will take them back top. They'll of course be hoping for more. Remember, Manchester City, Tottenham and Liverpool and Arsenal all started the down 10 points. So that win for Manchester United, beg your pardon, they of course started the down 9. So Manchester United are now 1 point behind Chelsea in the standings. And reminder as well that you can watch right now Tottenham versus Liverpool. That game is 1-1 heading into the last 10 minutes. If either of those two nick an equaliser, they'll join, nick a winner I should say, they'll join Chelsea on 13 points. And then Manchester City are being held by Brighton. That's 0-0 after 52 minutes. And Bristol City versus Aston Villa is 0-0. Kicked off not long ago between the bottom two. Piemonte sliding in, trying to cause some nervous moments for Berger. Mitten Conrad. Tried to slide it in behind for Kerr. Well, one back by Vaya. Van Havermaet. Nice skills by Justin Van Havermaet. Slight deflection. Won it back for Chelsea. Cuthbert. Now Fleming. Buccaneering through the middle. Couldn't quite find Kerr. Jesse Fleming described by Bev Priestman as the baby goat. Canada's Player of the Year in 2021 and 2022. And of course, a gold medal winner with the Canadians at the Tokyo Olympics. Jankovic. Cuthbert back for Carter. Will be interesting to see how both managers use their bench to try and change the complexion of this one. Chelsea would have loved to be dominating this game in the way they did against Aston Villa, such that they could maybe manage some minutes with that game against Real Madrid in 3 days' time in mind. For now, though, they're still precariously placed here. Cross from Jankovic. Fleming can get there. Say precariously placed, of course, 1-0 up. Jankovic slides it in behind for Kerr. Cuthbert. Cuthbert with the shooting chance off the bar. So close to the cushion of a second goal for Chelsea. It would help them feel a little bit more comfortable. Albeit they certainly can't have any eyes on Real Madrid at the moment because Everton are still right in this contest. Payne couldn't quite get onto it. Now Piemonte. Bit more of a wrestling match than football there for a second. Payne up against Bride. And draws the foul from Millie Bride. Chance for Everton to get a ball into the box here. Well, up the other end. Sam Kerr on the spin. Came back for Cuthbert. He fancied her chances. And nearly duly delivered. In every game she scored last season, Chelsea won. So that would have been something of a good luck charm to get an Erin Cuthbert goal in the bag. But not quite for Chelsea. What can Everton create? Lowest scorers in the division coming into this one. Only scored 2 goals in open play, both from Megan Finnegan. The other when Aurora Gali scored from the penalty spot. Too much on the pass for Sorensen. Plenty of attacking options on the bench for Everton. Katja Snoys, the Dutch striker who impressed last season in her first for the Toffees. It's also Carolina Olsson, summer signing from Fortuna Horing, and the experienced campaigner Tony Duggan, who's got history against Chelsea. Scored 11 goals against Chelsea in the WSL, Tony Duggan, more than anybody else. So she could be very handy to come on. Of course, has only recently returned from her pregnancy. Parise over the top for Ritten Kahnryd. Sprinting round the back. That is quite brilliant defence. It had to be perfect, and it was. Finnegan. Megan Finnegan not with a lot of options. Finnegan, the club's longest serving player. Cuthbert inside, lovely flowing move this from Chelsea. Bit of the commentator's curse, just as I say that. Too much on the pass. 1-2 with the goalkeeper from Karen Holmgard, linking up with Courtney Brosnan, but it worked out okay. Now it's Everton's turn to build. Piemonte round the corner for Wheeler. This is promising. Wheeler towards Bride. Not where she wanted it to go, of course. And then Wheeler gets bundled over by Charles. Piemonte in there fighting for it. Piemonte's cross. There's no one really in there to fight for it, because Piemonte herself, the centre forward, had gone out into the channel to fight for the ball. Martina Piemonte, her summer signing from AC Milan, has consistently scored goals wherever she's gone. Spells at Fiorentino, Real Betis, Roma and Sevilla, across Italy and Spain, before linking up with the Toffees. I know there was a few in Italy very surprised she didn't get a World Cup call-up. She's been bustled off it there. Fleming. Now Bride. Well intercepted by Van Havermaet, who is fouled by Sjoeke Nusken. Nusken will pick up yellow card for her troubles. Everton making a change. Honga comes off and Emma Bissell comes on. It's Sarah Honga making way. Might be a change in formation. Not necessarily easy to tell, because Emma Bissell is incredibly versatile. When she was coming through as a youngster, she was a fullback. When coming through at Manchester City, she was a midfielder during her spell with Bristol City in the Barclays Women's Super League. And then, more recent spell at Florida State, she was much more of a forward before signing in the summer for Everton. Cross in, nodded back, and Van Havermaet on the half volley smashes it over. A good chance. Well, they are managing to consistently open Chelsea up. Justine Van Havermaet had already had the ball in the net in the first half for that disallowed goal, and will be disappointed that she didn't test Berger there. Charles. Charging forward in her customary way. Breaks down though. Van Havermaet has to be careful, has Cuthbert nipping at her heels. Great work from Cuthbert. A little bit too much on the pass for Kerr. Van Havermaet. No shortage of Chelsea shirts leading the press. Flicked forward by Sorensen, but too much on it. Everton chasing their first win against one of the so-called Big Four of Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal in the WSL since a 3-2 win in September 2013. More than a decade ago when they beat Chelsea. Tony Duggan, Michelle Hinnigan and Chantal Boy-Halorka on the score sheet that day. Have beaten Chelsea in the FA Cup since. And they're right in this contest. They've had some good chances. It's, you could argue, been a bit of a metaphor for their season. I mentioned in the first half that number of expected goals is more than double the number of actual goals scored. Kerr. Cuthbert. Now Carter. Flicked round the corner by Charles looking for Fleming. Who had it taken off there well by Karen Holmgar. Via feels like she got the ball. Piemonte makes a case as well. Via was making the case from further back. Carter. Will be interesting to see how Chelsea use their bench when they go there. Cuthbert. Now Charles, first time cross. Dealt with by Karen Holmgar. Too much on the ball clip forward, well intercepted by Carter. Muskin. Now Parisset. More danger here. Well, almost paid the price. You've got to be careful with playing a high press like that against Rytting Kaneryd. Worked out okay for Everton. Slightly heavy touch just allowed Chelsea to win it back. Rytting Kaneryd. Kerr. Cuthbert. Charles. Fleming. Cuthbert. Chelsea zipping the ball about with some confidence, finding their rhythm. Slipped in behind for Fleming, who wins the corner off Claire Wheeler. Chelsea's first corner of this second half. I'd expect it to be an in-swinger. They generally prefer that. Coming into today, they'd had double the number of in-swingers to out-swingers this season. 18 in-swingers to 9 out-swingers. And indeed, it looks like it will be Parisset with an in-swinging corner. Most of the analytics say they work out better. That one comes to nothing. Piemonte tries to set Everton forward. Rytting Kaneryd can clean up with relative simplicity. Berger. Charles. Chelsea with a galaxy of stars on the bench. It's frightening in terms of the quality that they've got there for opposition. Lauren James, Fran Kirby, Mia Fischel, Maren Mjelde, Maggie Beaver-Jones, who of course had a loan spell at Everton last season. Ashley Lawrence, a summer signing from Paris Saint-Germain. Sophie Ingle, Zechira Mušović, and Kadisha Buchanan. Carter just smashes it straight into the back of Cuthbert. That's got to hurt. Playing on though, it might work out well for Chelsea. Jankovic. Charles. Right. Van Havermaet. Everton trying to get something going. Chelsea on the high press. Next up for Chelsea in the WSL. Liverpool in 6 days' time. Real Madrid away in 3 days' time. With an unrelenting fixture list. Rytting Kaneryd. Parisset. Cuthbert. Charles. Fleming. Bright. Saying crossfield. Not quite close enough to Fleming. Interesting to see those attacking combinations for Chelsea fusing. Was having a chat to the tactics guru Abdullah in the build up to this one. Was talking about how the officials come in and played that front role very differently. A lot more of a hold-up player than, say, Sam Kerr is. Kerr can obviously do that role, but different forwards play it in different ways. Here is Cuthbert trying to work her way through. She almost did, you know. Fleming. Recycled by Jankovic. Pressure building. Perisset. Fleming's header. She will keep it in. Cuthbert round the corner. Jankovic. Drifting crossfield, then finding Perisset. Kerr gives it away. Piemonte. Goes down, didn't seem to be a huge amount in it from Bright. Now space opening up for Chelsea. Real chance for 2-0, it is 2-0. A predator's instinct from Sam Kerr. And Chelsea have their second. It's been coming, they've had a good spell in the game across the last few minutes. A clever improvised finish, stabbing it into the net. Kerr has her second WSL goal this season. Well, it's classic Sam Kerr. You wouldn't say she's necessarily been heavily involved in Chelsea's build-up player in all of the games so far, but she has those lethal instincts in front of goal. Double change coming now. Lauren James and Sophie Ingle come on. And suddenly, having had so many promising signs at 1-0, but not quite taken their chances, Everton pay the ultimate penalty. Now Everton have got to react quickly. And Chelsea have got fresh, enthusiastic legs on the pitch as well. Piemonte, Sorensen. Not a bad trio of players to bring on. Sophie Ingle, Lauren James and Fran Kirby. Jessie Fleming, Sioka Nusken and Sam Kerr making way. Means Chelsea have got 2 more changes left up their sleeve. So both goal scorers in Fleming and Kerr off. Here come Chelsea, fancying more goals, having got that second. Could well be 3. Cross wasn't quite in the right place. Everton survive after Sam Kerr just made it 6 WSL goals in 6 against the Toffees. Ball played forward, a little bit of covering defence needed from Perisset. Cuthbert finds Perisset in a lot of space. Chance here for Kirby, streaking forward. It's a 3-on-2 if they work this quickly. Just a little not taken there. Still have 4 substitutes up their sleeve if they need Everton. Katrina Vaya looks determined to battle on if she can, though. The 32-year-old, an experienced campaigner. Any change made by Everton so far. Sarah Holmgard making way for Emma Bissell. Everton get the free kick this time. Charging forward, Ritin Carnarid. Too much on the ball forward though. We're talking on the Fran Kirby's Fight Club podcast about how she scored what I described as a rocket goal in that win against Aston Villa when she got her jetpack on, used all of that pace she's got to excellent effect. Also, we're discussing the Emma Hayes situation, saying, as they say in succession, what's the temperature? The situation at the moment, spicy. It's the only way to describe it, said Andre from Fran Kirby's Fight Club. Plenty going on at Chelsea, with Emma Hayes departing at the end of the season. By then she will have managed Chelsea for more than 350 games, 14 trophies. She'll hope for even more to that tally. 14 trophies across the last 9 seasons. Here's Wheeler. Everton trying to build something, well cut out by Bright. Lauren James. So hard to stop, so impressive. And Karen Holmgard using physicality to try and do so there. James, of course, having just come on alongside Kirby and Ingle. Nusken, Fleming and Shankovic, the 3 making way. Vaya. Still got to believe that if they can get one back, it really reopens this game up, Everton. Easier said than done, though.
Come on!
Kirby. Such a difficult player to face, coming fresh off from the bench when you're already tired as a defending unit. Everton, who last avoided defeat against Chelsea with a 0-0 stalemate in September 2018, more than 5 years ago. In the league, that is. Too much on the pass forward. Brosnan can gather. Did beat them in FA Cup quarter-finals in September 2020. Erin Cuthbert scored in just the 4th minute, but Lucy Hope made it 1-1 just before half-time, and Valerie Govan's goal gave Everton victory. Cuthbert. Kirby. Everton look set to make a couple more changes when the ball next goes out of play. It seems to be Katja Snoys and Anna Bennison who are warmed up and getting ready. Very young squad for Brian Sorensen here at Everton. Average starting age in their 11s across this season, just under 26. Second youngest in the division behind Manchester City. Here's James. So hard to stop. James. I think she's won a corner. And now we'll head across to do those changes. It is Martina Piemonte making way, had a great chance to score her first Everton goal, but couldn't quite capitalise on Millie Bright's mistake. Katja Snoys comes on, the Dutch striker who had an impressive first season with the Toffees last time around. And Anna Bennison continues her record of having made an appearance in every game across her Everton career since signing in the summer of 2021 from Rosengård. She's only played a full 97 times, but has made an appearance in all 39 Everton matches. She's the kind of player that can help unlock a defence, Hanna Bennison. If they can get her some service in creative areas. Was a significant part of the Swedish side in the World Cup that once again, as Sweden so often have in tournaments across this recent generation, got close but not quite. Beaten semi-finalists, ending up with a bronze. Bennison once upon a time a Golden Goal nominee as well. It's the most promising young player in Europe. Smashed forward by Gali. Too much on it though for Sorensen to turn it into something. So 3 changes now made by Everton with that double sub of Martina Piemonte and Karen Holmgren making way for Katja Snoys and Hanna Bennison. Both sides have made 3 changes each. Battle for the ball in front of us. And Wheeler gets there first. Can she win a corner? Not quite. James. 3 in front of her. And classic Lauren James, she still finds her way out. It's incredible how often she does that and how easy she makes it look. Just an incredible player who is a joy to watch in action. As Emma Hayes put it, she's different to any other player I've worked with. Had an eventful World Cup, 5 appearances, 3 goals, 3 assists. A couple of games missed due to that red card. It's easy to forget how young Lauren James is for all of her experience in the game. Part of the Manchester United side once upon a time that came up into the WSL under Casey Stoney. Chelsea then paying a 6-figure fee and Hannah Blundell going the other way. And that has been worth every last penny and will only continue to become a great investment for the 22-year-old. Charles was looking for the aforementioned James, who got there ahead of Bennison. Bride. Ingles header. Cuthbert. Slightly scrappy in midfield. Game of hot potato, battle for the ball. Ends up at the feet of Snoys, who shows good feet to get it away just in time, but only gives it to Karnarid. Plenty to keep an eye out on off the pitch at the moment with Chelsea, but for now, taking care of business on it. As we head towards the last 15 minutes. It's an interesting point made on the Blue Royalty podcast. Decisions that were never really needed to be made by the ownership in the Emma Hayes era because she did so much herself. Will now have to be made elsewhere. It will be a test of those new owners. It will be interesting to see how all things change at Chelsea Women. Emma Hayes has talked though about the fact that she has time to prepare for her own exit, succession plan her own exit, which is her dream scenario, identify the next candidate to take the team forward. Describes herself as a custodian of Chelsea. James, stopped by Van Havermaet. Also talked about, I hope that you'll accept me into the ground, in reference to the fans to come and watch. I'm sure I can picture Emma Hayes at Kingsmeadow or Stamford Bridge with a hot dog, enjoying the action. For now, still in the dugout, of course. You can see, speaking of the dugout, Brian Sorensen just there in shot bottom left. 4th change for Chelsea. What a player to be able to bring on. New weapon to have in their attacking armoury this season. Mia Fischel comes on in place of Sam Kerr. Fischel, a summer signing from Tigre in Liga MX in Mexico. Played at the UCLA Bruins like Jessie Fleming once upon a time before heading to Mexico, where she won a title in her first season and was top scorer in the league a couple of years ago. Scored on her Chelsea debut in a 2-1 win against Spurs at Stamford Bridge. And recently got her first goal for the USA on an international stage against Colombia in late October. Bright just seeing that one out for a goal kick. So Chelsea have made 4 of their 5 available substitutions. Nice trying to lead the press on Bright. Cuthbert. Sorensen. Slightly chaotic passage of play. Ends up with Scott trying to get Chelsea going forward. Intercepted by Van Havermaet. Now Bright. Kirby forward, Fischel. Very good at holding the ball up in situations like this. Allows Chelsea to get place forward. Everton running out of time to find a route back. They're probably going to need to do something they've not done in almost a decade, which is have one of their players score a goal against Chelsea in the WSL. The last Everton player to score against Chelsea in the WSL was Nikita Paris in October 2014. Only goal Everton have managed against Chelsea in the league since. A Khadisha Buchanan own goal last season in a 3-1 win for Chelsea. Ingle. Charles. James. Chelsea just content to make Everton chase shadows here. Try and control the game now they've got that lead. Carter. Covering in behind was Claire Wheeler. Good work from Carter back there in the tackle now. Cuthbert, Fischel again. Linking up with Kirby, who was left visibly frustrated to not get it back. Fran Kirby, who is back to her very best and spoken very openly and publicly about body image issues. There was, as part of the new Chelsea documentary, a situation where Fran was asked, "Why are you wearing a jacket?" Someone off camera, and she said, "Because I get called fat all the time, so I have to cover it up." Emma Hayes spoke very eloquently about this as well. Said the media need to be mindful of the insecurities that might be there. And body shaming is a real thing. The players feel it, and I was proud for Fran for saying that and speaking up about it. Can be saying, "I've had knee problems my whole career. When you're not playing, it's really hard to stay positive." And speaking about wider things, said there's been some research around it, but I don't think it's something we've invested enough time into. On the pitch, Chelsea controlling the contest. 10 minutes or so left. Cards sit firmly in their favour. But Everton have had their moments going forward. Chelsea have had some shaky patches in this one. Maybe Everton can make something happen here. Sorensen gives Bissell one to chase. That's far too much on that. Will be a long coach trip back to London for Chelsea, but at this rate, a happy one. I know that when Chelsea visited last season, the players in the club helped to subsidise a coach for the away fans to help with travel. Good sliding challenge from Payne. But right now it's Chelsea who have the momentum. Perisset. Kirby. Perisset once more. Ingle. James. Charles. James. Bissell. It looks like ready to come on just in front of us. He's the one-time Everton player, on loan of course, only ever borrowed. Aggie Beever-Jones, here's Mia Fisher, trying to make it 3-0. Just bustled off it. And that has gone out, which will give a chance for Chelsea to make the change. Joanna Ritting Conrid will make way for Aggie Beever-Jones. Who already has, as you can hear, a chant in her honour on the Blue Royalty podcast. Jessie Parker-Humphries, the sports journalist and Chelsea fan, was delighting in that chant being up and running, personalised in tribute to one of their own academy products who's come through the system. Signed her first pro contract with the club in summer of 2021, is now under contract through to 2025. He's had loan spells at Bristol City in the Championship when they couldn't quite get promoted back to the WSL, and then loan spell here at Everton last season when she did score up one goal, an absolute cracker to get her first in the WSL. Emma Hayes has said, I've not seen many kids with a powerful shot like hers. She has already come off the bench to score twice this season. Wheeler wins the throw. Everton have got to create something, they've got to create it fast. Comes off Charles, well, they've got throw here. Everton trying to set up the proverbial grandstand finish by getting one back, putting some nerves in the Chelsea camp. Great ball round the corner from Benison. Bissell dispossessed. Carter just puts her foot through it. Everton hunting for something. Easy to forget given Chelsea's extensive recent history that Everton have got plenty of their own going further back. Began using the Everton name in 1995, won top flight title in 1998, had their first European campaign in 2008, reached the Champions League quarter-finals in 2011 before falling on hard times. Everton relegated from the WSL in 2014, promoted back to the top flight in 2017 after Notts County folded. Everton winning the WSL 2 Spring Series. Toffees have won a couple of FA Cups as well. Beat Arsenal in a memorable final by 3-2 thanks to Natasha Dowie's 119th minute winner in 2010. They also won an FA Cup in 1989 as Liasso Pacific rather than being named Everton. Good carry forward from Ghali. Maybe this is Everton's moment. Not quite. Payne stopped by Cuthbert. So good at snuffling out attacks in that defensive midfield role. Well, you can see Cuthbert's visible frustration that she didn't have the passing option she wanted. Worked so hard to get the ball back, then wasn't quite able to keep it.
Substitution for Everton coming off number 14, Nicolene Sorensen, a replacement number 47, Caroline Olsen.
Karina Olsen comes on with time running out, not long to make an impact at all. Olsen, summer signing from Fortuna Hjørring. Quite a lot of players, unsurprisingly, being signed by Everton from Fortuna Hjørring. And I say that because it's Everton head coach Brian Sorensen's old club that he was in charge of. Led them very successfully to 2 league titles across 2 spells and a domestic cup as well. They were regulars in the UEFA Women's Champions League under him too. Bissell tries one, and he's not going to worry Ann-Katrin Berger. Aggie Beever-Jones does well to win it back, having initially lost it. Well, they'll have their eyes on a clean sheet here, Chelsea. They have conceded 4 goals in the WSL this season. 2 in the first 15 minutes of games when they've trailed twice, and 2 in the last 15. Won't want to make things needlessly nervy for themselves. Did concede 15 goals in the league last season, which was the most that Emma Hayes' side had conceded since 2016. Albeit the WSL definitely getting stronger season on season. Right across the league, we've seen that, no doubt. Something that players have talked about a lot. Cuthbert's header. Everton trying to create something, but in truth, the last 15 minutes or so, Chelsea have been shutting this contest down pretty effectively. They've monopolised possession as Cuthbert helps it on. James. Charles. Sends one forward. That's a nicely weighted ball for Fischel. Fischel on the spin. There's nobody arriving except for Via, who has to hurriedly clear. Katrina Via, ever present in Denmark's World Cup campaign, their first since 2007, and lost out in the round of 16 to Australia. Gali loses it to Ingle. Kirby, chance to turn and run. Slips it through for Beever-Jones, who has acres of space. It's Aggie Beever-Jones. The angle was tough. Almost scored against the club she was on loan at last season. The super sub nearly getting a 3rd goal when coming off from the bench already this campaign. Flashes wide of Brosnan's post. Brosnan sends it forward. Carter. Well, Chelsea might look likely to take the points as we head into the last minute of the 90, but there is a lot of positives that Everton can take from this. They've more than competed in the contest. They've created some really good chances. It's been a pattern of their season so far. Just haven't quite taken them, and that's what they'll root. They're in action next in a week's time, Sunday lunchtime kickoff, home against Bristol City, which, given the newly promoted side struggles, they'll see as a good opportunity to get a 2nd win of the season. Kirby feeds Beever-Jones. Cuts inside. It's Aggie Beever-Jones, and it's magnificent. A 3rd goal for Chelsea to secure 3 points for Chelsea, and 3 goals off the bench this season for one of their own in Aggie Beever-Jones. A strike of the finest quality against the club she was on loan at last season. We'll wrap up the points and confirm that Chelsea will be staying 3 points clear at the top. Aggie for England, chant some of the Chelsea supporters. Certainly quite a stylish way to round off the afternoon. The 3-0 scoreline on the balance of play is Probably one that might feel a touch harsh on Everton. But that is the ruthlessness that Chelsea have in front of goal that Everton right now don't quite. Still remains the case. Unless they score here, they would have scored 3 goals in 6 WSL games this season. Only 2 of those in open play, and both of those from centre-back Megan Finnegan. That tells its own story. Cuthbert gets it away to Kirby. Chelsea can pour salt in the wounds now with a 4th. Remember, of course, that Chelsea could be more than 3 points clear by the end of this round. That would need Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester City all to not win. All 4 of those teams started today 3 points behind Emma Hayes' team. Manchester City are behind, a goal down against Brighton. Tottenham versus Liverpool has finished in a draw. So Chelsea will go 5 points clear of those 2 with victory here. Arsenal, of course, play in the late game at Leicester City, who've been much improved from last season. Good hustle from Ingle. Beaver Jones couldn't quite keep it alive. Full-time whistle imminent here. On what hasn't always been entirely comfortable for Chelsea, but ultimately it has proven so. 2 assists as well. An assist for Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd for the 2nd and Fran Kirby for the 3rd. Jessie Fleming had scored the 1st. No assister for that one because it came off Claire Wheeler. Into overtime in stoppage time. One would suggest full time is not far away, and indeed there it is. 3 goals and 3 points for Chelsea to stay at least 3 points clear at the top. Indeed, if other results go their way, they may well find themselves even further clear by the end of this round of fixtures. A long away day and a very satisfying away day for Emma Hayes' side. Brianne Sorensen's team did cause Chelsea some problems and had plenty of good chances to get back into this game. They could have scored inside the 1st minute. Jessie Fleming then had Chelsea in front in the 14th with her 1st goal of the season after Claire Wheeler's mistake. Plenty more good opportunities came Everton's way at 1-0, but Sam Kerr made it 2 just after the hour mark, and Aggie Beever-Jones sealed it in style with a 3rd goal just as we ticked on into stoppage time, and her 3rd WSL goal, all coming off from the bench this season. Chelsea march on, remain unbeaten this season as they head into European commitments. Real Madrid await, with that one kicking off in just 3 days' time. But for now, they can celebrate. 16 points to show from 6 games. Everton with just 4 points from their opening 6. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you've been across the world. It's finished here at Walton Hall Park. Everton 0, Chelsea 3. Let's take a look back at the highlights of this one. There's certainly no shortage of goalmouth action. Heather Payne almost had Everton in front with about 70 seconds or so on the clock. And not long afterwards, Chelsea kicked into gear. Sam Kerr could only a club who will know all too well about her abilities. She, of course, was on loan at Everton last season, and Everton find themselves still without a win against Chelsea in the WSL in more than 10 years since 2013, albeit they did beat them in the FA Cup back in 2020. 8 straight wins now in all competitions across this head-to-head for Emma Hayes' Blues, who've shown that regardless of Hayes departing at the end of the season, for now, very much business as usual for her. She's talked about leaving Chelsea, feeling like abandoning her family. Well, before she goes, she's determined to add even more trophies to her cabinet, as today's result demonstrates. Real Madrid away awaits as their Champions League campaign starts in 3 days. I've been Michael McCann. Thank you very much for your company wherever you've been across the globe for this one. We're at Walton Hall Park. It's finished Everton 0, Chelsea 3.